Hello and welcome back to Nat Scrapes. I hope you're having a wonderful day and that you get a chance to get crafty today at some stage. Today I am working on a digital layout and I am going to use the Storybook collection from Close to My Heart. So we are going to make a layout today. I am going to start by bringing in the already made layout from this collection. I'm going to pop it on my design space. I accidentally bring in two. So I'm going to delete one of those. I'm going to ungroup it. You could make this layout just as it is. It's a cute little layout, but today I am going to bring in some other elements and create something a little bit different. So I'm going to pull across all the things that I don't want. So the things I don't want are going on that right hand side, and the things that I do want to keep, I'm popping over to the left hand side. And we're going to go through and do that. Have you had a chance to get in and make something crafty today, or is it a work day? I wonder what you guys are all up to today. I am still on holidays. By the time you see this video, I may have gone back to work, but I am still on holidays and enjoying crafting just about every day at the moment. So if you see lots of videos at the moment from me, that is why, because I'm basically on holidays for 3.5 weeks. I go to start using this rainbow here, then realize there's another rainbow in the collection and it's going to be a lot easier to use. It's going to be all grouped up and in the perfect location. So I'll go back and I'm going to pull that into the design space. And I'm also going to add to the canvas at the very same time a little bannery thing here as well that I plan on using. I've kind of half planned out this in my mind, this layout. I cut a lot of the time that it took me just to moving tiny little things around, because you guys don't want to see that, I'm pretty sure. But I do make a huge mistake today. I am going to show you how that you guys can make a better way of making this layout than what I did, because I really didn't pay attention to my sizes and stuffed up completely when I made this. Here I am just making some photo mats and I'm placing the white section in the middle, which is going to represent my photos at this stage. So on one side I'm going to have a 6x4 photo, and on the other side we're going to have three 3x4 photos. And then we're just going to put them all down the bottom. And the next thing I like to do before I really start getting stuck into the design work is build myself two guides. So you can see the two pink ones there are 12x12, representing my 12x12 scrapbook layout bases. So then I'm going to move everything in. Now this is where I sort of make my big stuff up. That rainbow that I've brought in and sized beautifully there is over the mat size that I can have. So I think it's under 12, but it's over the 11 point whatever that we need, 11.5. So in a moment I'm going to show you how you can size that and not have the same issues. In the meantime, you're going to see just me putting this layout together roughly where I want things and how I want things. Now, one of the things I do is offset the rainbow with some black behind so that it stands out a little bit more. You can see I kind of in my mind thought that maybe those photo mats could be colored, but I do change them back to being black, and that just kind of makes everything pop on the page. This is where I go over, realize, oops, that is way too big. Now I do end up going and cutting this. I find solutions. I do a splice down this pink layer and all this other jazz, but you guys don't want to muck around with that because it causes lots and lots of issues. So I'm going to show you a better way, and that is to bring in your rainbow at the very start and then start to size it to size. So the only piece that we need to worry about is that pink top piece. The other pieces are all fine, but I want it to make this as large as I can but still fit it to be able to cut on the 12x12 mat. So I'm going to bring it in and resize it, and then at the moment it is all grouped together. I ungroup, choose the pink piece. So I've just got that pink piece. I'm watching the size up the top till I get it to the right size. So I'm wanting about 11.1, 11.2. When I've got that to the right size, then I am going to go and select all the other pieces but that piece. So individually with the shift key down, selecting all those other pieces, and then I'm going to resize them up to meet the size that that pink piece is. And that allows me to have them all at that same size. I'm then going to offset them. Now the offset that I used for mine, and this is a very individual thing, I used 0.05 on each piece, and that just gave a very small dark border. It's some people would like more, some people would like less, but that's what I chose to do. I'm just going to flash up here on the screen the size difference for you guys, and you can see there on the left is the space if I had sized it so it fits on the 12-inch mat, and then on the right is what I did. And as I said, it caused that I had to slice that piece, I had to slice the offset that was underneath it, and then because I'd chosen to use patented paper, I couldn't just place them together. And you'll see me a little bit later with these pieces trying to fit all that together. Hope you guys take the easy route, not the hard route like I did, and have better luck at the end. Here I am, I have the piece there that I have to add a little bit to because it still didn't quite cut out, and I'm trying to match up that pattern and all sorts of jazz. It really was just a little bit crazy. I'm going to layer up all of these pieces of the rainbow, so you can see here that I'm placing them on top of the offsetted black pieces and just taping them down. Now I know I want to stick some little bits in between these, so I'm not going all around these. I'm making sure that there's plenty of areas left where there's not a lot of glue, so that I can tuck things in behind and above and all that kind of jazz. Next, I'm going to bring in my two base pages. Now these are the vanilla cardstock, so they are a slightly off-white, the French vanilla, and that helps because I have cut lots of white clouds. The one thing that I haven't mentioned so far is the paper pack that I'm using, which is the mixing paper pack for January to March and the new mini catalogue. And I just loved the colors in this mixing kit. The mixing kits are just amazing as it is, but these colors just worked so well for what I wanted to achieve. Now I did swap out the green only because the lovely green that was in there that I wanted had big white dots on it and just would not have worked on that small piece of rainbow. I did swap that out. I believe I used a piece of bulk Sawyer paper there. What I am doing right now is I've placed the rainbow where I think I am going to have it, and my extra little clouds. Now you can see there with the pencil I'm going around because I'm going to come in and add a little bit of color to this, and I want that to be able to know exactly roughly, that's not a word, is it? I want to know roughly where I want that color. So now that I have marked that out, there was a couple of areas I thought, oh, that grey lead line was a little bit dark, so I've just rubbed that a little bit, taken a bit of colour off, because once I've done some blending here, I won't be able to remove that pencil mark. Now I'm coming in with the Capri Blue and a blending tool, and I am just going to blend roughly around that area. Now it is a little patchy where I am starting the color because there's extra ink on that blending brush, but that's going to be behind the cloud, so you will not see that. So I'm not concerned at all with starting it quite dark in areas. Now the phone is sitting in the middle of there because I'm on the phone to my husband while I'm doing this, guys, and I do apologize. I do eventually flick him off to the side there, but I am chatting to him. I think he's on his way home from work or something, and we're discussing dinner and you know, what we're picking up from the grocery store and all that fun jazz. So I had him there on the side chatting away. Once I've got the blue in the areas that I'm happy with, I'm going to bring the rainbow back in and those clouds back in, and I'm going to start adhering them in spots. So I'm just making sure right now that I've got the blue where I need. I do believe I did go back and did a little touch up here and there where I did maybe not enough of the blue, but all I want is for those clouds to be kind of popping out from a little bit of color. When that wasn't there, it was just a little bit white on white, whereas now that clouds are starting to peek out a little bit and show themselves. I bring in my cute little photos. These are my two kids. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? I know every mum thinks they are gorgeous. And this is quite a few years ago. My daughter's wearing that beautiful princess crown. And whenever I ask them, even now, to have a photo together, they pretty much do this. It ends up in just a riot. So good luck me getting any photos without these two kind of wrestling or pretending they absolutely dislike each other. I think most scrapbookers probably have the same complaint, wouldn't they? That they can't get just nice photos. Sometimes it's a real struggle. Here I'm just popping those clouds down and placing the photos where I think they're going to go. We do move a couple of these bits and pieces and change it about just a little. At the end of this video, I do have a still shot of both the layout on the canvas and some still shots of the layout itself so that you can see some of the smaller details. So if you do want to replicate this yourselves at home, you can definitely take rough sizes from that. It's got the gauge lines there. You can take some rough, sizes and fiddle around on your own Cricut mats at home and definitely reproduce the layout. I did go there, you've seen me briefly just do some little hand stitching around those clouds. That just helps again add another little bit of pop to those clouds. I didn't want it too dark and I didn't want to blend them. I wanted that nice crisp white kind of feel, and that helped get the look that I was looking for. That little banner is going to be a journaling spot, so I can tell a little story on there. And then my thoughts behind this little signpost here is having like the date, the day, the date, the year on those. And I thought that was a cool way just to have your date and information like that on the page. Here I think that I'm not overly happy where that is positioned. I think I'd move it a couple of times and move it over to the side just a little bit. I stick it back down and then I rip it back up not long after and I add foam underneath there. The reason behind that was it's going to make it easier to journal on later on, and it's also going to mean that it's popped up because I popped up the word magic when we come to that soon, and I didn't want just one spot with something mounted up and wanted, words just aren't coming to me. I wanted more than one spot with something of dimension on the pages. Here I'm putting together that cute little crown, and later on we'll decorate that with a few jewels and bits and pieces as well, so stick around for that little bit. It's right at the end of the video. I popped this memories on, and again this just came from that large layout that was on the page, so there was a lot of elements that were already sort of done for us on that large page. Here I'm putting on the magic, and I went to put it where I kind of had planned and realized that it was probably a little bit too low down there. So I'm going to move that up, stick it underneath that cloud a little bit more on the right cloud. And here I can't find the eye. Takes me a while, guys, but we'll find it in a second. I go searching. I kind of give up and go, oh, well, I'll find it eventually. And then in a moment, we're going to find it underneath the mats, which is a good little find because I was about to go and recut another eye. There we go. Found it. Magic. Just like magic, we found that eye. Now, this is where I feel like at the moment it's a little low still, so I'm going to move it up that little bit more, get the elements a little bit more in a triangle and not straight along the bottom. and I even move that cloud up a little bit. Now it's not much, it's only a fraction, but I move that up so that I've got that little bit, sort of a wonky bit there, starting to make our eye go on that diagonal. And I'm much happier. Now on that left hand side, I'm using that small cloud that was tucked in behind to go over the end of the banner so the banner doesn't end in mid-air, because there's nothing worse than that. And I do use foam tape, guys, to pop each of those pieces up, and that's where the dimension will, I decide I have to come back and add dimension on the other page as well. We've got our magic, not much more to pop on now, so we are going to take this off, add that little bit of foam. Now this is actually a little bit of foam board, and this is going to make it much easier to write on and add the dimension that I was looking for. So adding a few more bits and pieces on here. I was going to put some foam tape behind that crown and decided against it for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. I think it should have been foam taped up, really. Now, so if just in case you head out early from this, one of the things I will mention is at the moment I have clouds on the right hand page in 2 spots coming off the page. On the left hand page, after I've done the border, I realize I really need something coming off the page on the left hand side, so I do add a cloud over there coming off the side. Now, I've just mentioned a border. At the moment, it's got no border on this. It's just sort of floating around, which is fine. It's a rainbows and clouds layer, but it is floating. And I want to kind of draw the eye into the center and stop us trying to look outside of the layout. So I will come in and fix that in a moment with a bit of hand doodling. Here I'm just adding on all those little sprinkly bits that we cut, and then because I've layered this over 2 pages that are joined together there, I'm going to cut these apart so that I have 2 separate pages, and just making sure that as I've done that I haven't lost anything from the pages and those little ends are glued up. Here's where I'm coming in and doing a border, guys, and I'm just hand drawing. Now it's 2 lines hand drawn around the edge. You see me marking so that my left hand page actually matches up with my right hand page, so it's not too far out. And this is very close to the end of the layout. So if you got all the way through this, I do thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'd love to see what you guys make, see if you create something similar and take inspiration from this. You can head to my Facebook page and leave some photos there for me. I would love to see what you guys get up to. Here I'm just adding though a little bit of gold, the perfect pearl, not perfect pearl, sorry, the liquid pearls, just adding a few tiny little details on that crown and then just a few sprinklings around the page, and that's it. Thanks again, guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.